Yeah, welcome to the Kryptik show. It's your bro, and we're here. Okay, I'm gonna do something weird today. If y'all seen my episode 12, you know that I'm into weird shit like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I have been for a while. I enjoy watching documentaries and reading up on this stuff. So yeah, it's just kind of a hobby, and it makes me think, gives me something to write about and stuff sometimes. So I want to do something weird, which is to play devil's advocate for a bit. Alright, so don't take this too seriously, but it is another point of view. Now, this is the idea. Illuminati and shit. Alright, so a ruling elite, they run the world secretly and all of that, yeah? The general consensus is that if they exist, it's all terrible, and they're gonna ruin us, the regular people, and they got all kinds of agendas, and it's secret, and it's evil, and all that, right? Okay, so what if it's not bad? What if this shit is real, but they're not evil? Just a thought. Alright, so I'm gonna do this shit in 3 parts. Let's see what we got. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about them, the Illuminati here. Now, obviously, we're not talking about the original Bavarian Illuminati. They rose up and were outlawed a long time ago. 18th century, 1776, they started out. Not too long after that, they were outlawed. Some say they went underground. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe they died out, but their ideas survived or whatever. Safe to say there's a group out there, shadowy, secret, and all that. So whether they call themselves Illuminati or not, they probably don't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna call them Illuminati just to make shit easier. Okay, so let's say they're out there. Okay, anything we really hear from them, yeah? And this is maybe because a lot of it is focused on Freemasonry and shit, and we get a lot of these answers from Freemasons or former Freemasons or whatever. They tend to say that their motivation is good, yeah? So you got smart, wealthy dudes mostly getting together, trying to figure out how to run the world in a nice and peaceful way. Now, most conspiracy theorists will say that this is a bunch of bull, and they are secretly into all kinds of evil shit, and their motivations are evil, yeah? But what if they're not? What if these guys are just telling the truth? What if it's not ignorance at the lower levels of the Freemasons that are deceived as well and all that? This is what we hear a lot. But what if they're actually serious? What if they are getting together to do something positive? Could be, right? Imagine this. We're talking about a group that is beyond unseen, okay? They're above the people who are above. So it's the 1%, maybe it's the top 0.5%, maybe it's the top 0.02%, who knows, right? So we don't know who these people are. We can safely assume that they're really wealthy, really powerful. So imagine this, they've got everything. Yeah? They've got all the power you could want. Why would they want to fuck with us? Okay, so that's one question, right? So why not assume that these guys do have some better ideas, right? And I want to compare this to kind of royalty. Now, this is obviously lower level, but there was a time when royalty was a lot more important than it is now. So you had your kings and your queens and stuff. I got most of my information about that from my European background, of course, because we learn all this shit in history class. So you got all these kings. They've got a pretty totalitarian rule. They can do whatever they want. They run their countries absolutely. Yeah, they got absolute power. Now, the difference in wealth between them and the people, especially the poor people, is of course enormous. And you can say this is unfair, it is unequal, and of course it is. Yeah. But what we do see is that in times of, let's say, crisis or whatever, they do defend their country and they do defend their people. So we got this king way up high, being way more comfortable than the people at the bottom, but he does try to run his country in a way that everyone more or less is supported, is defended, is safe. Yeah? It's not in his interest to kind of destroy his people. Okay, so let's say we consider these guys at the top, these Illuminati people, right? We consider them like absolute rulers, right? Kind of similar to, let's say, medieval Europe, right? So yeah, they run the world, they run humanity and all that, but is it really in their interest to destroy us or to treat us like cattle, or all these theories that they have out there, like enslave us and stuff? I mean, enslave us, we're pretty well enslaved right now, right? So if it's about distracting us, keeping us busy with bullshit, they're there, yeah? So they've got that now. They've got all the wealth, they got all the power for generations to come. We don't even know who they are to kind of rebel or do anything about it, right? So they have succeeded if that's what they wanted, right? What if it's not that? What if they do feel a responsibility towards humanity and they do have some plans, positive plans, to kind of move us all forward? Okay. Now here is where something comes in called the Georgia Guidestones, America's Stonehenge. Well, if you're into conspiracies and shit, you have heard of this before. It's a bunch of granite slabs, and it's got like 4 major languages, and it's got a plan for the future, kind of like a 10-step plan. Now the funky thing is, many conspiracy theorists really hammer on this and say it's evil, and the thing gets vandalized a lot. People spray paint all over it from time to time because blah 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 blah, and it's so evil and it's demonic and all that shit. Okay, but let's look what's really on that thing. Okay, so and this is the big one, number 1. It starts out right off the bat. It says maintain humanity under 500 million people in perpetual balance with nature. Okay, so we've got 2 things here. Maintain the population under 500 million. Now, if you compare that to the population we have now, it's a fraction, and this is where people stumble, right? This is where people go, what? They want to kill, what is it, 85% of us. I think that's a bit of an assumption, really, because if you look at that, it doesn't say kill anybody, really. They want to have a smaller population. Now, if we look at all the trouble we have in the world, overpopulation is a concern, right? It really is. Now, maybe we're not there yet, but we're definitely heading in that direction. The population is definitely out of control, and the more we grow, the faster we grow. I mean, it's just math. It's really inevitable, really, right? So to say that you want to do something about that, I don't really see a problem with that. Might be a good thing. Now, if we're talking about mass extermination, yeah, I would have a problem with that. I think most people would, especially because it's going to be us on the chopping block, right? I don't expect to survive something like that, so that would suck for sure. But it doesn't say that, though. So if we assume that they know a lot of stuff that we don't, maybe they have a way to achieve this naturally. And if the population is naturally, like through disaster, meteors, who knows, it might make sense to say, well, okay, we're at a very low number now, let's keep it at 500 million, because we saw what happened last time being this time, yeah? If you can do that peacefully, and maybe they can do that peacefully, maybe they got some plan or something, I don't see a problem with that. I think it's probably a good idea. In balance with nature, who can argue against that, right? Yeah, it's a good thing to be in balance with nature, and if you look at it right now, what are we doing? We're not really in balance with nature, are we? We're eating the shit up like there's no fucking tomorrow, and kind of looks like there isn't going to be a fucking tomorrow, right? So, yeah, I don't know about that. Now, if you look through the other points, yeah, guide reproduction wisely, improve fitness and diversity, yeah, that doesn't sound like anything racist for sure. If you're guarding diversity and stuff, so it's not that, yeah. Guide reproduction wisely. Okay, that sounds like eugenics, yeah. Guided reproduction. Okay, so that's eugenics. But then again, there's many ways of doing eugenics, and if we look at the methods of the past, yeah, not too great, right? We got some bullshit going on right there. But once again, it doesn't specify any methods or whatever. You want to maintain a healthy, strong humanity. What's the problem, right? Then there's another stuff, a lot of stuff about being united through language, world courts, you know, more stuff about nature, more stuff about passion and faith and all that. So really, it's quite a positive list. Look it up for yourself, read through it, and have a think. Yeah. Now, for once, try not to look at it all reactionary. Well, world court, yeah, we have that. It's evil. First of all, I don't think so. Second of all, most free countries do promote the rule of law. So if you have international law, that might be a good thing. Yeah. Having common languages or one common language. We try to do that now. It doesn't seem to be a bad thing. In fact, it seems to be quite a good thing. So there's that. There's a lot of positive aspects, ruling with passion and having faith and all these things. Doesn't seem like the end of religion to me. Yeah, some religious people say it's that and that's why it's demonic or whatever. Doesn't look like that to me, gotta say. Avoiding petty laws, avoiding basically bureaucracy is in there, yeah? I'm all for that because fuck bureaucracy, man. It's making everybody's life harder. Petty laws, yeah, having like these little detailed little laws being invasive in your life and all that shit. Who wants that, right? We all hate that shit. So getting rid of that's probably a good thing. And the last point, I like that one a lot. Don't be a cancer on the earth. Now, this again has to do with being in balance with nature. And yeah, there's a lot of people having kind of observed that thing. We are like a virus, perhaps. We are like a cancer on the earth. And there doesn't seem to be any control to it. There doesn't seem to be any end to it. And it does look like we are going to devour this fucking planet. So looking at all these points, I don't see what the big deal is, really. If this is truly an Illuminati plan, give it a shot. What we're doing now doesn't seem to be working, right? Kind of safe to assume that the people who are at the top of the top, they know a little bit more about this. Yeah, we can assume their technology is better than ours. Basically, they got a lot of secret shit in store, and yeah, perhaps it's not all negative. Perhaps maybe even the opposite. You can factor in aliens as well. There seems to be something with aliens. There's a lot of talk about there's good aliens, there's bad aliens, and again. I kind of assume that the guys behind the scenes know more about this than we do. That's the complaint most of the time. The governments know stuff and they don't tell us. Yeah, that's definitely true. There's more knowledge than we have as a general public. Maybe that's a good thing.